Hey everybody, how's it going? It's Charlie Morgan here. Welcome back to yet another video for the YouTube channel, and there's me kicking my tripod. Not even 10 seconds in, I'm already making a mess. I hope you're all well. Today I want to talk to you about a quote from Napoleon, which might sound like a bit of a weird stretch to connect that to business, but it's actually pretty cool, and I found this to be an extremely useful thing to understand to grow my business. For those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Charlie. Built and scaled an agency to 7 figures. I've also built and scaled a coaching business to multi-7 figures, and now I help other people build and scale those businesses. And I also have a cool YouTube channel, or well, I think it's cool. It's probably not very cool at all, to be honest, where I help other people, and I want to try and help you grow and get more clients. Napoleon once said that if you want it done, then go. If you don't, then send. What that means is if you want something done, then you have to do it yourself. But if you don't want something done, then you can send someone to try and do it for you, but they probably won't. The reason that I'm recording today's video is because a lot of people are always seeking a done-for-you solution to a problem in their business. And there's nothing wrong with that, because you can't overextend this quote from Napoleon, the angry little man that he was, because you have to delegate and hire and employ. So like if you just believe that quote and took it at face value all the time, you'd never hire sales reps, you'd never be able to scale a sales system, you'd never hire account managers, you'd never do anything. You'd want constant control all the time. But I think what Napoleon was referring to was things of extreme importance, or things that really move the business forward, or things that you should be responsible for. The reason behind this is because of a principle, or an idea called the principal-agent problem. Now, principle there is not principle like L-E, but instead A-L, so principle as in like person, if that makes sense. But in this instance, the principal-agent problem denotes two people and a relationship between them that can cause catastrophe in business. The principal, i.e. principal, the head person, they are the founder of the business, and the agent is the person working for the founder. The problem is that when the principal and the agent, they have different incentives to do different things. So the incentive for the agent is to look as good as possible to the principal, and the incentive for the principal is to grow the business and make money. I'm just going to quickly shut my windows here because, well, someone just started using the world's loudest vacuum cleaner. So let's just shut those a second. Sorry if you can still hear that in the background, but that should be a bit better. But the problem here is that the agent doesn't have the incentive that the founder does. And really the only thing that drives human behavior is incentives. And you only have to look as far as, basic psychological knowledge to realize that that's true, and really observe anyone ever doing anything ever to realize that people only do things if it's within their best interests to do so. Now, the problem with this is that agents, i.e. employees, their only real interest is to get paid. The founder's interest is to achieve a mission or accomplish a solution to a big problem. That's what they're driven by. And so because these two different types of people are driven by two different things, they will behave in two different ways. So let me give you an example of this. Business development managers employed by businesses tend to not produce results. And I can attest to this because I have worked with lots of companies, hundreds, consulting with them to try and fix their acquisition problems. And a lot of the time I'll be consulting with business development managers, and I'll tell them to do something, but then they won't do it. Whereas I've consulted with founders and owners of businesses, and when I consult with them, they do it properly, right? The reason behind this is because the founders and owners have accountability tied to the business in regards to their reputation and their financial situation. The business development manager can always go and find another job if the business they're working at fails. Albeit, if they're responsible for the failure, they might not find as good of a job, but their neck's never going to be on the line as much as if they were a founder. When someone's neck's on the line, when someone's livelihood depends on their actions, they behave in a very different way. Survival creates productivity and focus. And when you're not put in a situation where the requirement to survive is prevalent all the time, you're going to get lazy and complacent. This is why I don't really believe in outsourced solutions for growth, right? What I mean by this is, I'll give you an example. So my company, Imperium Acquisition, Imperium Agency, it sells a product that teaches high-ticket service providers, agency owners and consultants, how to acquire clients and make money and build systems. Sometimes prospects will come along and they'll say, oh, I don't want to do another program, I just want a done-for-you solution, I just want this off my plate and done for me. And the problem with that is they didn't understand what Napoleon meant when they said, if you want it done, go, if you don't want it done, then send. Because client acquisition is a multifaceted problem, and like it's a painful thing to solve, and you, as the owner of the business, should be the one taking accountability for it. Because client acquisition is often, an appointment booking and sales, these are often the most sort of crucial bottlenecks in a company's growth is acquiring clients, and most people can't figure out how to get customers, which is where we come in. However, like when you outsource that activity, which is by far the most important thing to the growth of your business, you're outsourcing it to someone who just simply doesn't care as much as you. And this is why most agencies go out of business, in case you're wondering, most marketing agencies. Because if the marketing agency was attached onto the business and only profited when the business profited, then the marketing agency would basically behave as a principal. They would behave as a founder, and they would therefore reap the rewards that a founder would receive. And I had this before when I used to run a done-for-you agency, where I try and align the incentives with the business as much as possible. When incentive alignment is out of whack, which basically means when the reason you're both behaving is different, you both behave in different ways, and then you're going to get fired. So basically, if you have a problem with client acquisition, right, if you have a problem with sales in your business, you only should really outsource it once you understand how to solve it yourself, for yourself. So for example, I now have a sales team for businesses, and I have appointment setters booking appointments for me, and I don't really have to do anything to do with my acquisition. But the only reason I have that luxury is I can send people because I've already been. Does that make sense? So when it comes to hiring people to help you with your client acquisition, whether it's appointment setters or sales reps, what we find is like you need two things. You need the person and you need the system. Now the person is hard enough to find as it is, finding someone who's actually talented and extroverted enough to acquire clients, but then you also need the system to make that happen. But then what you should do is when you hire these people is you should hire them as if they are founders. And what that means is all of our appointment setters are not paid salaries. They're not paid wages in any way, shape or form. They are paid every time they book an appointment. They're not paid for every message they send. They're not paid for anything but producing value. And when the production of value is nothing but producing something that gives someone what they want. So we want appointments. When our setters give us appointments, we pay them. Now, we're not going to pay them every time we close a deal. The reason behind that is because as an employee or a setter, you have no control over the process beyond that point. If they were closing the deals, then yes, maybe. Same thing with sales reps. We pay them commission only. And the reason we do that is because that's what their job is. That's where their incentives should be aligned. Salaries make for lazy sales reps, right? Because if you're a good sales rep, like if you have a salary and you're not a good sales rep, it doesn't really matter. But if you're a bad sales rep and you don't have a salary, then you're kind of fucked. So be very wary of any salesperson that wants a fat salary, because it's like, well, why? Like the best sales reps in my experience are those who just try to negotiate commission increases, not salary increases. And it's pretty obvious why. After a few years of experience working with salespeople, you'll be able to realize that. So basically, if you have a big problem in business, and it's a huge big problem, then you should be the one that's tackling it. You should not try and send someone to do it for you, because it won't be done. And with our program with Imperium Agency, the only times that our program hasn't worked for people is when they've sent, not gone themselves. So like they hop in and then they're like, I haven't got the time, so I'm going to get a business development manager to do it. You're like, okay, you can try it, but they're not the founder. They don't really care about the business. They care about the paycheck. Sure, they might want to see you succeed and grow, but they're never going to be working. They're going to be clocking out. Right? As an entrepreneur, we can't clock out. But if you're giving someone an entrepreneurial task and they have the ability to just clock out and stop thinking about the task, then they're never really going to get it done. Because I can tell you from experience that solving big painful problems in business, the most productive and creative times where solutions flow is sort of in the evening after you've had time to digest. But if someone's like 5 p.m, I'm done, I'm out, that's when I stop getting paid, right? Then they stop doing the work. So this is the principal agent problem, and this is why outsourcing problems like this doesn't work. So if you're thinking about hiring an appointment setter, but you don't know how to set appointments for yourself, then stop yourself from doing that, because you're probably outsourcing out of pain avoidance. And you know, it goes back to the old age adage of like, if you want a man to be fed, do not give him a fish, teach him to fish. Likewise, if you want to feed yourself, do not buy fish, right? Buy a fishing manual, learn how to do it yourself. Yes, it's painful, yes, it takes time. And no, this does not apply once you get to a certain level in business, right? You don't want to just constantly go around picking up all the skills when you're like making like hundreds of millions. You know, if you want to build a software thing. It helps to know how to write code yourself. But then eventually you're going to want to outsource, and get a CTO so they can run it for you. That's fine. But then even then, Elon Musk, for example, knows rocket science. He knows how electric cars are built. He understands engineering, right? He understands for his other business, Solar City, he understands how that works. So there's an element where when something is the most important thing in the business, you must know it. So I see this manifest in the e-commerce niche for agency owners, where people start an e-commerce business, an e-commerce agency, with no understanding of how to deliver e-commerce results. And then they go and hire a media buyer. And then the media buyer fucks up. And of course they fuck up. What were you expecting, right? They are the agent, not the principal. And the principal should be responsible for activities that would completely crush the principal's well-being if they were not done properly. But people fail to see that, and then they just go and outsource it. You talk to people in the agency space or the coaching space, they're yeah, so what I'm going to do is build my business, and then I'll have a sales rep and a media buyer and an appointment setter, and I'll get that done in the first month. I'm dude, you just don't understand, do you? What happens when the sales rep has an objection they can't overcome? They're going to come to you. You've never done sales. You're going to be giving them the worst advice against anything, and then they'll fail. What happens when the media buyer gets blocked and this ad doesn't get approved and you've never done approval processes before? As the owner of a business, you need to be able to solve every problem yourself. The luxury of delegation comes from the ability to having actually done the thing, and then you can instruct somebody to do it for you. But before that, you need to do it yourself, and that's how you become a full-stack entrepreneur that can basically, you perceive your business as a grid, and then you sort of flick between different problems in the grid. So it's oh, we're not booking enough appointments. Okay, channel the energy there. We solve the problem. Oh, okay, now we haven't got enough support. Channel the energy there. Solve the problem. We've done support ourselves. So this is how I've built my businesses, and so far it's served me to date really well. Basically, before you hire an agent to run a principal-based activity, the principal should go there first. I hope that makes sense, and that's what Napoleon meant. So don't take it to an extreme where you never hire anyone, but basically if you want to hire for a skill-based role, make sure you have the fucking skill in the first place, all right? That's everything from me. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please do comment and subscribe. If you like the video, there's a button, you can like it. Subscribe if you want to see more content similar to this, and also you can comment anything you might disagree or agree with me on. I'm always open to discussion. Let's go for it. In the description, you're going to find a funnel. It's pretty blatantly a funnel. It's a sales funnel. We're all marketers, nothing scary here. It's basically a link. It will take you through to a video of me talking about our program and how we can help you acquire more clients. I'm not going to talk too much about this, but we basically help high-ticket business owners, so agency owners, coaches, consultants, etc. We help them get more clients, and we do it on a complete pay on results basis, which means that if you don't make an ROI, then we don't actually get paid. It's kind of sexy. It works really well. We've done it for hundreds of people. We're basically drowning in case studies and testimonials. We've got 50 or 60 5-star reviews on Trustpilot. Our refund rate is less than 1%, which is completely unheard of for coaching businesses. So we kind of know what we're doing. If you want to learn more about it and get more business and have more fun, have more clients, just use that link. You can go through to one of our sales reps to have a chat about it. And if you want to come on board, you can. If you don't have to. I don't really mind. But anyways, that's everything from me. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. And I will see you in the next video with my fingers crossed that you subscribe. Have a good day. Take care. Bye-bye.